Chelsea won. Arsenal won. And what a horrific showing from Arsenal. I've got to say it. What a poor performance. And I'm going to blame and attribute this whole match to one man only. Mikel Arteta. What a shocking man management that was of this whole game. I've got to be honest. You are one man more than Chelsea. Caicedo with a horrific challenge on Marino. Horrific. An ankle breaker. And you are still on the back foot against Chelsea. This is ridiculous. This guy has no guts, no determination. He played it safe. I can praise Arsenal when they do well, but today was absolutely shocking. It is on Arteta. People saying it's not. It is on him. This guy tried to play it safe. Safe as houses. Going away at Stamford Bridge, I know it's going to be a tough game, but Chelsea had more of the better chances. They were more on the front foot, and it is definitely on Arteta. It's not on the players. I'm telling you this right now. The only player out there that has actually any impact on the game at all, especially in the front end, was Saka. He was the only one trying to do anything at all. If people are not saying this is on Arteta, you have been mistaken. You are clearly deluded. This guy is at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea are down to 10 men. You have an opportunity in the second half to win this game. Guess what happened? Chelsea are the ones who score first from a set piece, from a corner. They were always on the front foot, even when they were one man down. So I don't understand it from Arteta. I'm going to be honest. I have to be honest. It's ridiculous. He played it safe. And that's fine. You can play it safe when you're maybe 11 versus 11 men. But unfortunately, you did not have the guts. You did not have anything about you as a manager today that really wanted to win this game. You were okay with a draw. That does not sit right with me. Especially as a fan of football. This game was cagey from the start. We saw Chelsea. They had a lot of the chances as well. The build-up from Chelsea was better. Arsenal was sloppy. The players as well have to blame for this as well. They do have to blame because they were sloppy in the build-up. They were sloppy in retention of the ball. They did not allow to get themselves out of certain situations, especially for Chelsea's press. Maresca set up the team to press well, press with intensity, and you saw today from this match that Chelsea were the more intense team, played at a higher pace. Zubimendi, horrible in the midfield. Declan Rice was the only one decent enough that could work with the ball in certain areas. But apart from that, they were horrid. Absolutely horrid. Arsenal were horrid today. It was to set up the team, and I'm telling you right now that Arteta has a huge part to blame. Maybe not all of it, but huge part to blame because he tried to play it safe. Yes, you got a draw at Stamford Bridge. Whoop-de-doo. You could have been even further in front of Chelsea today. You could have got the 3 points. They weren't brave enough. This is why Arsenal have bottled the league on so many occasions. They're not brave enough at certain points in the league season where they can win this league confidently. They're going away from home and you have 10 men you're facing against for one whole half. Pretty much even more than that. From the 38th minute onwards. And you don't have the guts to go against Chelsea and try and tuck them away. No, it doesn't sit right. As watching the match, Arsenal were poor. The whole team pretty much were poor, apart from a few players. Timber had a decent game as well. But apart from that, nothing else screamed that Arsenal can actually do it this year. I was expecting Arsenal to go to Stamford Bridge and actually batter them. But guess what? Chelsea are on equal terms. As much as equal terms as Arsenal. Maybe not in points, but the way they're playing at the moment, they look better today. Chelsea were the better team. Even with 10 men, they were the better team. Chelsea were cooking on so many levels. Esteval didn't really have the finishing quality, but he always looked dangerous. Calafiori was decent on some occasions, but he always looked dangerous against Calafiori. Against that back line, with Hincapié and Mosquera, they always looked dangerous. I'm sure it would have been a different story with Saliba and Gabriel there. I'm sure it would have been a different story. But obviously with Mosquera and Hincapié coming in, it is going to be a different picture altogether. A different outlook in the match, because you can always say that you can challenge this defence. Some certain instances, Timber was cutting across into the centre-back areas to try and clear their lines. So this is what I'm talking about. Sometimes Arsenal don't have the guts to go out there and actually put them away. This has been the story of Arsenal for previous seasons. Why are they doing it again? In this match in particular. Because you're looking at certain matches and saying, okay, cool. Sunderland didn't hold on. Chelsea today could have beaten them. And you didn't. If they won today, I'm going to say it right now. If Arsenal won today, I would have said they've already won the league. They've beaten Chelsea away from home, Stamford Bridge. Probably, currently as it stands, the second best team, not just by table position, by play, by how Maresca's setting up the team, by how players like Reece James was absolutely sensational today. I want Reece James at Real Madrid. He was excellent today, and he's been great in this central position in the midfield. Can Trent Alexander-Arnold do the same? No, he can't. Trent has been shocking in midfield when trying to be in place there. But Reece James is excellent as a player. And you're looking at the Premier League as saying now, okay, cool. You have Arsenal, you have Chelsea, you have Man City as the three front runners to win this league. Chelsea, can they go on a run? Can Arsenal now kind of try and regain form after this draw? That's what they need to do. They now need to go on winning runs. If they drop any more points, they got a certain game against Aston Villa. We know Aston Villa is a cagey match for Arsenal, a horrid match against Emery's men. We know that already. That's coming up soon. So Arsenal need to really rethink their strategy this season, because unfortunately, for some, Arsenal are looking like a team that can do exactly the same thing that they did in previous seasons and bottle the league again. Can they do it this season again? I don't know. Because this match was a statement maker to the rest of the league. Are Arsenal really title contenders? From today's match, I think they're not. From today's match, from previous matches, yes, you can say that. But these are the kind of matches you need to win your titles. Let's be honest in this one. And Arsenal were shocking today. Absolutely shocking. They did have no build-up. They were poor in the midfield. They were poor. They were slow in transition. The tempo wasn't quick enough. And Chelsea were that extra bit intense. We saw it. Yeah? And I've got to say it. Like, as a Real Madrid fan, I don't want to face either Chelsea or Arsenal in the Champions League. We'll get battered by them. Absolutely battered. Both of them. And Arsenal weren't that good today, but still, you can see the top two in the Premier League in terms of Chelsea and Arsenal. That's how I see it, essentially. They're both better than Barcelona and Real Madrid by a million miles. And we can see it on the pitch, how they play, the tempo, the control of the game, how they move the ball. It's literally 1-2 touch, go, give and goes, pass it out to the wings, create width, pass it back into the centre, keep the team guessing. That they were unpredictable, Chelsea, today against Arsenal. Really, really good. Honestly, even down to 10 men, Chelsea were absolutely fantastic. They remained great in shape. They did not allow too many chances. They played the ball well. Even while the extra men in midfield, they looked like they still had 11 players on the pitch. And Arsenal today bottled it big time because they had a chance to go in that second half, recuperate after the first half of absolute atrocious play. Come out in the second half, they were a little bit better, Arsenal, but not by much. They were mid today. Absolutely horrendous. And let me tell you right now, whatever Arteta said in the halftime dressing room, he could have gone in the halftime dressing room. We don't know what's behind closed doors. But say, go out there and win this game. They didn't. They looked a shell of themselves, what we saw against Bayern Munich. An absolute shell. It was horrendous play from Arsenal. I'm telling you right now, probably the worst game of the season for them. The worst. You got to say it as it is. The worst game of the season. Unbelievable. Shocking. I'm honestly going to say it right now. Like, what did we actually see today from Arsenal? What did we actually look at? What did we learn today? That against the big six teams, they would either rather play it safe than try and go for the win. That has let them down before. Will it let them down again? You can't play safe. Come on, man. Like, this is 10-man Chelsea. What on earth are you doing? How is your midfield not keeping control of the football against a Chelsea midfield that is organised, that is ready, determined to counter? Look, the amount of counter-attacking opportunities that Chelsea had. I tell you what, if it was 11 versus 11 for the whole match, Chelsea would have won this game. Factually, don't tell me any different. Caicedo, one of their main midfielders, obviously completely reckless challenge and horrific challenge on Marino. But if they had 11 versus 11, Chelsea would have won that match. Because you would have had an extra man in midfield. That's it. Simple as. What a horrific match from Arsenal. They deserved nothing from that game. Absolutely nothing. And I get a bit heated from this because I'm no by any means no Arsenal fan here, but as a neutral, you're looking at a team that is trying to be in a position where they want to win the league. Fine, great. You got the points. You've done it before in these last 13 games, essentially, before the Chelsea game. And your only draw was against Sunderland before this in terms of the amount of points that you're racking up continuously, wins after wins after wins. And you have the opportunity and the chance to win this Premier League early. Let's just call it as it is. With the points gap that Arsenal would have had after this Chelsea game, if they won it, they would have been in firm control. I would have said there's no team in the Premier League that can stop them. Because the state of Man City is not the best. It's still decent. Still decent. We saw, obviously, Man City, how they performed. But, look, I've got to be honest. Arsenal, you had no divine right to play anything safe against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. If you want to win this league, you go out there and you perform your best. The complete difference that we saw from the Bayern Munich game to this Chelsea game is night and day. There's nothing today that screamed that Arsenal are title favourites. I've got to say it. There's nothing today that showed me that. Nothing. Because you can play against Chelsea, you can go safe, you can batter them at the Emirates, whatever. But these are the matches that you come up and you have the opportunity to win. You go out there and win in the second half. Don't even try and play it safe. Unbelievable. But look, let me just go a little bit more in details into the match because I saw certain few players from Arsenal that had decent performances. Decent. Timber, Declan Rice and Saka. These have been great performers throughout the season. Apart from Saka, obviously, today probably was his best performance in terms of against the opposition and how he fares against that type of opposition. Look, he's cut in, he's crossed. Obviously, Marino's goal, great shot, greatly taken goal. The centre-backs were non-existent. They were nowhere. So when you're looking at Saka, and he is the anomaly from the Arsenal team. Even in these cagey games, he will be the only one that's trying to fight for everything. He was decent today, not the absolute best, but better than most of them out there. Better than most of them. People were saying that Saka was horrid. Look, I've got to say it right now. He was the best out of the worst bunch, completely. The best, because he was the only one trying to do anything at all. Anything at all. He was decent. And that's saying something today. So what can we analyze from today from Arsenal's team? The only player that I looked at that was commanding the midfield was Declan Rice. He's the only one. And he's been not just an anomaly in the team, but an anomaly throughout the season. Because he is always consistent. He plays a great game every single game. So what you're expecting from Declan Rice to be calm in possession, be controlling the midfield, have the ability to run at the defense, have the ability to throw in a couple of corners here and there, set pieces, delivery, artist. That's what his game is. And with Declan Rice in his team, he is, if he go, I tell you what, let me tell you like this. If Declan Rice, guys, if he's out of the team, Arsenal are just so much worse. So much worse. Reece James was the best player on the pitch by a country mile. Reece James was outstanding. The delivery from that pinpoint, absolute pinpoint, giving a bit Arsenal their taste of their own medicine. And the way he bossed that midfield was absolutely nuts, crazy, man. Like Reece James bring into Real Madrid, trust me, we need a player like that, like an actual crazed lunatic who's ready to chase down anyone. Because we had that in Valverde, but unfortunately, like Valverde is going to be resigned to right back. Let's just call it as it is. Like Reece James is outstanding. He was outstanding, and he's always been a very, very top-notch player. We know him as a player that's always going to put in performances. And he was chasing down the midfield continuously. Every time Eze had the ball, mate, that guy, like, I tell you what, Reece James was on him. Completely on him. He was the outstanding player for Chelsea today. And we've just got to admit that we were looking at a match today where it was a cagey game, but a midfield battle nevertheless. A midfield battle that was going to be won by the minor details, the minute details. And it wasn't won because you had, obviously, people in certain positions that did not perform well. Marino, I didn't think he had a great game at all. He was decent. He scored the goal. But apart from that, very, very lost. Losing the ball continuously. Martinelli, not good either. None of them good. Like, I tell you what, Zubimendi had a shocker of a game. Zubimendi, he looked lost. He was trying to control the tempo of the game, trying to do his usual stuff, trying to be the Rolls Royce in the midfield for Arsenal. But guess what? He was shocking. The guys were pressing him out of his skins continuously every time he tried to get the ball. He lost the ball countless times, misplaced passes. Very, very poor game from Zubimendi. And I tell you what, the saving grace, I think, for Arsenal were the fullbacks. Timber was decent and Calafiori was decent, especially faced one-on-one with Esteval. I know Esteval cut in a few times, but when it came to dangerous opportunities, Calafiori, especially with the chance that he had early on in the game, look, tracking back, doing his duty, and had a decent game overall. The two centre-backs, decent as well. Mascara, decent. Raya, decent. That's it. Across the whole Arsenal team, it was just decent. But Chelsea had certain players in that team that were very, very good. And one of them being Reece James. Unbelievable play from Reece James. Unreal. Yeah? So we need to just take our hats off to Chelsea because they didn't look fazed by the red card at all. They continuously always looked like they were going to trouble Arsenal. Their build-up in the midfield was excellent. Their counter-attacking opportunities and how they built up the play. See, Arsenal, today, they decided to favour the approach, okay, let's slow the game down and let Chelsea come to us. Chelsea were like, no, we're not doing that. What Chelsea did was, as soon as they had the ball in defence, they manipulated the ball so quickly up front that you saw Esteval having the ball in 2 free passes, essentially. Neto having the ball in 2 free passes. That's what it was. And with players in Chelsea who can be sometimes killers up front, you need a bit more, how can I say it? What's the word I'm looking for? A bit more oomph up front, that you have a player like Garnacho coming on will not do anything. Let's just be honest. Like Chelsea, I think in terms of their depth, is decent but needs improving. They need high-quality players in certain positions that can really be the difference makers. And Reece James is that guy in the midfield, but up front, who's going to be the difference maker? We saw Esteval against Barcelona being an absolute chaotic madman against them. And today he proved it when he cut in, but his finishing wasn't there. His finishing lacked. He wasn't so cutting edge at the final third, if you know what I mean. So, look, it's crazy, man. It's crazy that Arteta, I tell you what today, absolute stinker from him. Stinker as a manager. Unbelievable. Like, what are you doing? You're not going into the match and trying to defend. You're trying to actually beat Chelsea at Stamford Bridge and make a statement. And what they did not make one statement at all. They were poor. Rhythmically, Arsenal looked poor. In passing, in possession, they looked poor. Ødegaard coming on. Ødegaard, look, this guy, I'm going to say something about Ødegaard. He's a waste of space. Because this guy, what he does in the midfield is he doesn't like to move on the ball quickly. He just likes to try and slow it down, try to play at his pace, take 7, 8 touches. I saw times and times when Ødegaard had the ball, he had runners on the outside of the pitch, in the centre, and this guy's still holding onto the ball, still holding to the ball, still holding to the ball, still holding to the ball. Like, how long do you need to hold onto the ball for? And then when he doesn't make those passes, he passes sideways, he passes backwards. This guy is a dud. He is trash. Let me tell you right now, Ødegaard is poor. Poor on the ball. This guy holds onto the ball too flipping long, man. Like, when you actually have runners in front of you, make the bloody pass. Don't flip and pass it sideways and try to recycle possession. My lord, like, how long do you need to take to move on the flipping ball? Like 7, 8, 9, 10 touches. Like, how long? Honestly, it is ridiculous. I'm getting irate because Ødegaard has a lot of talent in his locker, but the situation is that as a footballer, bro, you need to pass quicker than that. Like, you have runners in front of you. You have opportunities to pass the ball. Chelsea are one man down, and you are taking 20 flipping touches before you decide to move the ball. And when you do move the ball, it's either sideways or backwards. That is madness. Madness. Absolutely crazy. It feels like it's crazy, man. It's crazy. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. But guys, let me get some comments, guys, yeah? Let me get some comments. Raphael Jacob 1274 says it feels like a video rather than a stream. This is a live stream, mate. Yeah? This is a live stream. I can tell you that for a fact. I am live, yeah? Chelsea outplayed Arsenal from start to finish, should have won the game. Absolutely. They definitely should have won the game. I definitely feel that Chelsea had more of the opportunities, more of the chances in the final third. They just lacked that extra bit of finishing quality in them. I just got to say it like that. Especially in certain areas, especially in the middle. I remember, I think it was Hincapié lost the ball. A chance to shoot, but there was nothing about them that has that instinct up front. So that's what Chelsea need to work on, essentially. Yeah? Lee was overconfident. I think he was a little bit tiny overconfident. I think Lee, with Chelsea, I think they thought Arsenal could have gone there, maybe won the game. But unfortunately, I tell you what, Arteta, huge, horrible management, yeah? Arsenal had Gabby and Saliba out. What were you expecting? Look, when Chelsea are 10 men, you need to expect big things, especially in that second half. They didn't have anything about them. Let's just be honest on that one. They didn't have anything about them. Arsenal. They were not good. They were not good in the slightest. They were shocking, horrid on the football. Horrid. How long are you in the USA? I'm in the USA until Sunday this week, the next week. So Sunday and then back on Monday, essentially, you know. Every team needs their own Pedri. I tell you what, Reece James, at the current how it is, I tell you, Declan Rice, I think personally, is probably the best central midfielder in Europe at the moment. I think that personally. Because he is very, very consistent this year. I got to be honest. Declan Rice is the most consistent midfielder this season by a country mile. He very rarely loses the ball. He doesn't look phased. His defense is very solid. In attacking areas, he's very solid. He knows how to distribute the ball. If he loses it, he's very quick on his recovery. I think Declan Rice is definitely the best central midfielder in Europe at the moment. I don't know who would disagree with me on that. Name me another better central midfielder than Declan Rice at the moment. Today, Reece James was definitely better than Declan Rice, but unfortunately, that Reece James, look, I want to put Reece James in a high regard. I want to see him throughout the whole season in a certain position. If he's in the central midfield position, if he's playing this role here, then I would see him doing great things. So let's see, obviously, in the future. Name me one better than Declan Rice in the midfield. Rice is stronger. Like, people say Rice will cook Pedri. Absolutely. Rice is stronger than Pedri. Rice is more aggressive than Pedri. He has a better press than Pedri. Rice is better than Pedri at the moment. That's facts, yeah? Vitinha has been good as well, and Vitinha is the type of player that I would like to see on the pitch, but Rice is a very, very all-round midfielder. He's good in all areas. That's the difference. And he's got height, he's got physicality. So I just want to see maybe a head-to-head between those two, see what happens. But look, definitely Vitinha is definitely up there as well with Declan Rice. Probably the best two central midfielders in Europe at the moment, yeah? Chelsea deliberately booked that red card. They wanted to show they can match Arsenal with just 10 men. That's crazy. Yeah, maybe. You never know. Yeah, never know on this one. Yeah, being that the thing pissed me off is that we conceded at second half start. Absolutely. And Arsenal, they went naive into that corner. They think, okay, cool, we're going to just defend this. They went naive. Brilliant delivery by Reece James. Chalobah, great header, literally flick onto the back post, and everybody just standing still like lemons. That's what they were. So, honestly, a very, very good performance from Chelsea. I've got to take my hat off because when you're down to 10 men, people think that you're not going to win the game. Chelsea looked more the likely team to win, even with 10 men. That's the strange thing. What did Arteta say to the players in the halftime whistle? Be honest with me. What did he say? I don't even know. Because it looks like Arsenal came out and they were deflated already when they came out. They didn't look like a team that were hungry to get goals. Only when they went a goal down that they said, okay, let's rush this. Come on, man. You just need to show that intensity when you come out the blocks. When you come out the halftime whistle. Ridiculous showing from Arsenal. I've got to be honest, mate. I'm severely disappointed in Arsenal. Severely disappointed. They were shocking. And it shows to me that Arsenal have that little bit of mentality in them saying, let's play it safe, let's play it safe. You play it safe too much, you're going to have teams like Man City and Chelsea catching you. You don't want to play it safe too much. Teams like Villa, you don't want to play it safe. That is factual. So we'll just need to wait and see. We need to wait and see until this, I would say, until March time. Let's see at March where Arsenal is, because I've completely gone back on my previous statements. I'm thinking that Arsenal are just a foregone conclusion this season. They're going to win the Premier League. They're going to win it all. I've got to go back on these statements because I'm going to say it, that Arsenal today showed the likings of a team that could not win the Premier League because they're playing it safe at Stamford Bridge. Yes, you may be a draw. Arsenal fans will take that. Oh, we'll take that. Not against 10 men, you won't take that. Trust me on this one. Arsenal fans are looking at this match right now and saying, what a horrid team today. What did you try and prove today? What did you show today? You showed nothing. You showed no caliber of a team that wants to win the Premier League. If a team really wanted to win the Premier League today, Arsenal would have gone out in the second half and absolutely battered Chelsea, like they did with Bayern Munich. They were serious about Bayern Munich, but with Chelsea, completely different team. Bayern Munich went more open, we know that. But the situation at Chelsea, they were super confident coming out. They were maintaining the possession better. They passed better. Their rhythm was better. They were quicker to the ball. They were more intense. They had a better press than Arsenal with 10 men on the pitch. Ridiculous. Without Caicedo, their main player that likes to press continuously. Ridiculous from Arsenal. Honestly, a horrific showing, and they deserved nothing from that game. Chelsea were the better team, and they should have won the match. Let's just be brutally honest on this one. Let's be brutally honest. Arsenal were a dud today. They were shocking and showed no intention of winning that game. But guys, honestly, let me read a few more comments. Okay, Rice is overrated. He's not overrated. Let me tell you this. I actually completely slated Rice when he went to Arsenal, but I've got to say right now that Arsenal have a great player in Declan Rice. Declan Rice has made Arsenal a completely different team, yeah? Chelsea had more chances to win than us. Absolutely. Chelsea definitely had more chances to win than Arsenal. They were completely the better team. Facts, Dave. This is our problem. We don't show champ mentality as we haven't become one yet. Absolutely. This is factual, mate. Fauzi Goon, absolutely. Speaking facts, mate. When you don't want to win a game at Stamford Bridge against a 10-men Chelsea, you have no resilience in you. You have no fight in you. You have no determination to win this Premier League. They're playing game by game. That's the difference. They're not thinking of the bigger picture. Yes, you play game by game, but you're thinking, look, we beat Chelsea today. Arteta should have gone in the halftime dressing room and be like this. We beat Chelsea in the second half. We have the opportunity to go certain amounts of points clear of Chelsea, be in this controlling position in the Premier League, and have no two ways about it. You go out there and you win this game. Guess what happened? Chelsea scored. As soon as the halftime whistle blew. Let's be honest. Arsenal, horrid, mate. Horrid. But anyway, guys, that's been myself for this live stream. Much appreciated. Thank you very much for joining. Make sure you smash a like on this video. Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. And we'll see you next time on another video. Take care, guys. Adios, amigos. And we'll see you on another video later on.